In a development sure to plunge the entire United Kingdom into the depths of mourning, a grim-faced doctor treating Princess Catherine today delivered the most devastating prognosis imaginable regarding her stage 4 breast cancer battle to the royal family. According to multiple insider palace sources, the Duchess of Cambridge's medical team has shockingly determined no viable curative options remain viable at this terminal stage, leaving the beloved wife of Prince William with mere months left to live barring any last-ditch pharmaceutical miracle. The incomprehensibly heartbreaking cancer update, which arrived at the tail end of Catherine's latest agonizing chemotherapy cycle, has reportedly left the entire House of Windsor utterly emotionally devastated and grappling to maintain even a semblance of composure or functional operations amidst their profound grief. Most affected of all appears to be the princess' devoted husband Prince William, who has remained by her side for every anguishing treatment since her initial diagnosis over 18 months ago. According to my colleagues on her medical team, the Duke of Cambridge simply collapsed into a wailing heap upon learning the finality of it all this morning, that even their most radical procedures and therapies have failed to slow Catherine's relentlessly advanced cancer at this point, revealed a Kensington Palace staffer who witnessed the anguished 41-year-old prince receiving the unimaginable news firsthand. One moment, William had been clinging to his customary stoicism and reassuring Kate as she bravely emerged from her chemo suite exhausted yet hopeful as usual. Then the doctors pulled them into a private family room with the Middleton family in attendance, and that's when their entire composure just shattered into a million pieces. It was utterly devastating to hear and watch unfold. None of us could quite believe what we were seeing or prepare for such abject trauma. The staffer's harrowing account of the royal family receiving word that Catherine's advanced stage breast cancer has defied all medical interventions paints a vividly wrenching portrait of the private agony consuming the very heart of Britain's first family. Apparently the princess herself, having intravenously endured every conceivable treatment option available at several of the world's most cutting-edge hospitals over the past year and a half, betrayed almost no outward shock upon being given her terminal prognosis. Instead, in a remarkable embodiment of the keep calm and carry on British ethos, multiple sources indicate Kate simply gripped Prince William's hand tightly and nodded graciously at the attending physicians as they solemnly delivered their crushing final medical opinion. But while the Duchess remained a picture of admirable courage and steadfast resilience, the reaction was drastically different for both the prince and her family members present. The Middletons understandably completely fell apart sobbing in each other's arms. And as for William, the sight of him absolutely losing all composure under the emotional weight of it all, just collapsing and wailing like a broken man, none of us palace aides could stop ourselves from openly weeping too, the staffer recounted through audible tears during an anonymous phone interview arranged in secret. How could you possibly prepare your soul to see a devoted husband and father be told he's about to lose his soulmate and the mother to his 3 young children in just a matter of months? It's utterly incomprehensible and heartbreaking beyond all comprehension. According to multiple royal sources, Prince William reportedly attempted averting the doctor's starkest predictions at first by desperately pleading for any shred of medical hope or promising leads on experimental trials abroad. But the finality of the Duchess' condition and advanced cancer progression appears to have left her physicians no wiggle room to offer false reassurances in their damning ultimate prognosis. Soon after receiving the definitive terminal update, a despondent William is described as clutching his chest as if physically winded, while Princess Catherine sat staring stoically, already attempting to summon inner reserves of solace and fortitude for her beloved family she soon must leave behind. It's as if she instinctively reached a point of spiritual peace and acceptance in that moment, her own emotions completely disengaged and shifting into full mother bear protectiveness for William, the children, and everyone else reeling around her, marveled the eyewitness palace aide of Catherine's selfless resilience amidst the horrifying reality. She pursed her lips in that signature regal stance, squeezed both of the weeping duke's hands, and you could practically see her psyching herself up to remain their sole source of strength about to essentially guide them all through her own dying. While Buckingham Palace has yet to issue any official statement regarding the Duchess of Cambridge's dire medical status beyond vague platitudes about appreciating thoughts and prayers during a challenging time, all indications are that Catherine is now being considered terminally ill, leaving little time for finding some miraculous Hail Mary to cling onto. Instead, Practically overnight, the palace machinery has switched into making end-of-life preparations for the 41-year-old mother of 3 and future queen consort's tragic exit from this world far sooner than anyone dreamed possible. Already sources are reporting the House of Windsor has enacted Operation Pandemic Protocol provisions, code name for the family's extreme privacy sequestration and seclusion plans for Catherine's remaining days. Everything right now is oriented around one singular focus: facilitating Princess Catherine's wishes and final requests down to the smallest detail, no matter the costs or efforts required, another palace insider divulged in a hushed phone call while the devastated Waleses have retreated into lockdown in their most private chambers at Kensington Palace. After the Herculean strength she consistently embodied for over a year fighting this disease head-on, none of us would dare dream of robbing her the chance to experience whatever closure she desires in her last remaining personal moments and farewells. Her every slightest wish and request is being adhered to like an almost religious degree of reverence. Even as the monarch and royal courtiers alike labor diligently behind closed doors to respect the immensely private final days and wishes of Princess Catherine in any way possible, many insiders suggest her dying request will likely be for one last bit of fleeting family normalcy and memory-making while she remains ambulatory and cognizant. Indeed, sources close to the Middleton family indicate Catherine's most heartbreaking yet profound hope is to spend at least a few precious outings soaking up the pastoral beauties of the English countryside alongside her children and loved ones. As grounded as they all appear in public, Kate and William have always been every bit the traditional outdoorsy country folks and nature enthusiasts you'd expect from their Berkshire upbringings, explained one close friend of the Middleton sisters during a tearful phone call recounting beloved memories from Cambridge Cottage weekends and Highland Estate excursions during happier times for the young royals. Despite facing a living nightmare from those harsh hospital realities, Kate likely wants to keep seeking little pockets of ephemeral sanctuary in the form of taking it all in alongside her babies, laying in dewy fields watching clouds roll overhead, wandering babbling forest creeks and ancient oak groves, essentially imprinting those sorts of simple peace-inducing snapshots eternally in her mind before. The friend said, trailing off emotionally over what's yet to come. Kate's not a complicated woman by any means. For her, the notion of treasuring these tranquil final respites amidst all the greenery and lush landscapes of her homeland means absolutely everything right now. It's the last little sips of life she desperately craves to give her beloved children, a few more droplets of joyful fuel to power their memories of Mummy long after she's left this earth. Even through her own raw emotional devastation and grappling with unimaginable personal loss, few who know Catherine seem surprised by her supreme focus on centering her children's emotional well-being above all else during these most trying of circumstances. During the months of arduous treatments over the past year, the selfless princess is said to have continually masked or outright concealed the more terrifying elements of her cancer battle to ensure young Prince George, 9, Princess Charlotte, 7, and Prince Louis, 4, were shielded from as much trauma as possible until the last imaginable moment. She put up masterful Trojan efforts so the children never saw her grow sickly or thin, never lose her hair or suffer obvious side effects. It was all for their psychological protection, revealed an aide who watched Middleton's remarkable motherly dedication up close throughout various palliative stints at Kensington Palace. Now with the clock so prominently ticking down, that sacred mission has only redoubled as her priorities in ensuring all three grow up with only the rosiest possible memories of their mum's youthful vitality and upbeat presence ingrained into their DNA. According to other